Okay, it starts fucking working as I'm cleaning my eyes. God damn. After 6 years, can you imagine it? 6 years of live streaming, I still screw it up. Got to be careful what I say now. I think my dad's subscribed to my YouTube channel, but I want him to. I want him to actually, so then he can. Well, it's a way of staying in touch. So I'm nice like that, but we'll see. Keeps name dropping places in Hong Kong, and I'm expected to go there. But then if I name drop a place back to him, it's like, don't remember. Like, how can you be so selective? Oh, go to these places, check them out. Okay. Hey, did you ever go to these places? Don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Cheers, Dad. I've customized the stream. You should, because we're on the laptop, you should be able to just type. I don't know what it's like on the phone, but I don't actually watch a lot of live streams on YouTube. So I'll never understand the difference because I have no time for watching it, actually. Dave Yee says, hi, Jonathan's dad. He's been a good boy mostly. Thanks. He's got to learn how to subscribe, though. And my stepmom doesn't actually have a Google account. So they've got to create that first. And they've got to do it on the TV. So it's going to take them a while anyway. Okay, we've got our first comment. That means the live stream's working. Good. As you can see, the background is a little bit different. That's because you know that my garden from upstairs is now. So the garden is now indoors. You can see the kiwi, that's the kiwi, and that's the blueberries with the strawberries at the bottom, which you can't see. I don't think. Boop, there you go. Okay, great stuff. And I'm actually still going through a process of accommodating everything because, can you believe it? The workmen still haven't taken down the scaffolding, and they said they'd take it down by the 2nd. I don't know what time it is or day it is in America, but it's the 4th here now. What happened to the roof garden? So my friends have left Hong Kong, and they were on the top floor. And the roof garden space, patio, belongs to them. So in Hong Kong, if you own the top floor of a building, then you get the top above, the space above that, which is obviously the roof. Those are the rules. I can't actually rent that because it belongs to a different landlord, but I was borrowing it. Now that they've gone, I'm waiting for someone to move in, and then I can say, hello, can I have some? And maybe I can bring all that stuff back up. And then I'll actually have loads of room because I had to get rid of a lot of stuff just to accommodate everything here. You can just see strawberries here. So along here is a strawberry, the lemon tree, strawberry, and then out by the kitchen window are more strawberries. The scaffolders, I think some of my neighbors who don't speak English, they properly or fluently, don't say properly, that means you've got standards of what you expect of them. Okay, they don't speak it fluently, but in their broken to smithereens English, they have explained to me that the scaffolders haven't been paid by the contractors, so they're not doing the work, which I don't understand, because if you don't take it down, Mother Nature's going to take it down for you anyway. So just fucking take it down, because I'm getting sick of it. It affects us. I don't know why the contractor isn't paying them. Live Overseas TV says, how's the weather there now? Do you harvest some of your pumpkin? It turns out, Live Overseas TV, that my pumpkin was a male pumpkin. Now, if you're not big into gender theory, or you believe that gender doesn't matter, just let me tell you that if you don't have a female pumpkin, you're not growing any pumpkins. So I had a pumpkin that basically had dicks on it. Okay? And I'm not eating dick. I want the pumpkins with vaginas. And I didn't have any, so I binned it. It's actually mulch now, and it's helping a taro plant grow if the roots take apart, the leaves and stuff as it's decomposing. So I'm growing a taro. As far as I know, the taro doesn't have a gender. It hasn't got any flowers, and I'm going to grow some taro. Whatever the fuck taro is, I've never bothered to actually Google it. Couldn't you convince the pumpkin to ID as a female? That's very interesting. I could speak to it. A lot of people speak to plants. I could ask them to transition. Don't know who's going to pay for it though. At the moment, it's just easier to buy pumpkins for myself rather than grow a pumpkin. Although I would love to, because I've got the space now. What were we talking about before anyway? What were we talking about? Or did I finish? I can't remember. Gender neutral plants. Can you imagine? No fucking apples are growing because they're gender neutral. They just have flowers and leaves from the apple tree. God damn it. We should have listened to Chappelle. Male pumpkins don't mature into edible squash. No, because the flower just falls off the stem, and the female one has like a bulbous effort. Well, we're talking about scaffolders. The female one has a bulbous sac at the end, so when you pollinate it, the flower falls off, and then that bulbous thing grows into a big pumpkin. So the scaffolders haven't been paid, but today I can hear them, and I looked out the corridor, and the corridor's full of scaffolding because they're doing the internal piping, which, okay, they're doing it in little bits, which I don't understand. You're either getting paid or you're not, and it's just 3 guys. When you saw the live stream video, there seemed to be like 10 guys doing it, but it's slow progress, and I'm getting impatient and antsy because I've got solar panels I want to put out, and I want to finish off my gardening, so then I can maximize for sunlight all around the available space that I have. Until that happens, I can't do any of that, and I want to just tidy up the finishing touches to the room and what have you. Currently, I'm processing a video, so the gardening video will come out. I'll edit it tomorrow. Today, I was editing Zora's podcast, so yeah, whatever you're seeing here will be in 4K glory tomorrow. So there we are. Hello, Dave. There's a Dave and a Dave Yee. So if I say Dave on the replay, then you should figure out for yourself which one I'm talking about. What is this slow mode? You can set a slow mode on YouTube where basically tech, if you type a comment and say, what's slow mode? And I talk for 30 seconds, you can't type for 60 seconds. So if I change topics, you'll always be behind. Just type. I'm a periscoper. I'm trained to read fast comments. None of this slow mode shit on YouTube. Excuse me. It sounds like I got here just in time for the scaffolding update. Yes, you did. I planned to live stream the scaffolding every day, but last Thursday, that was all they did. Then they came back on Monday and moved a little bit on the side. That wasn't worth live streaming. And then today I can just hear them running around. I just don't understand. Hello, Brian Davis. Thank you for coming in live. It's nice to see you all live, although all these comments, and yet there's only 2 live viewers. That's weird. So we'll see. If they're actually going to do a large piece, I've got this afternoon and tomorrow for a live stream to show them just taking it down. Okay? So if I'm here, I'll show it. If not, then we've missed it. Right. This is Brad Pittless. Google made me change my name. Wow. Okay, I'll try and remember. We're going through phases, aren't we? To remember on Periscope, somebody would say, hi, I'm Kumquat69, but you can call me Angela. And then you had to remember everyone's fucking second name because they used their alias to introduce themselves. Yeah, I couldn't I? Just do my bit. Just do this corner unit, please. Yeah, so do I. There was just I always keep talking about it. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but Periscope was just so technically good. Anyway, topics. The garden I've done. I've got to go to the flower market. I'm not sure if any of you want me to live stream it. If you do, tell me now. If you're on the replay and you get to hear me, leave a comment because I'll check it before I go. You've got about 2 hours. I might do a live stream just walking around there. I've got to get some little things. All the scaffolding is down. No, it's not. It's coming down slowly. And if you can hear the drilling, they don't need to drill anything unless they're drilling the roof, the the roof stabilizers to hold everything up at the top. Okay, so maybe that drilling is them getting rid of it. I don't know, and I'm not taking the laptop upstairs to find out. Dave Yee says my old username was Hong Kong Hermit. Actually, Dave, I know Hong Kong Hermit's real name, so that ain't gonna fly. But good joke. I like you. I'll block you last. But I got something that Hong Kong Hermit doesn't have. I got a permanent ID card. So I'm now a resident of Hong Kong. I can work anywhere I want. I can apply for any job I want now. And yes, you're seeing the back of it because I don't want you to see the front of it. Personal information on there and everything. Okay, so Flower Market is an option for you. And scaffolders compensation I've done. ID card I've mentioned. And okay, so the virus here has to be blocked. Quite unknown. Yeah, it's like the last man on Earth, and he's in the library, and he drops his glasses and he says, "It's not fair. You'll be the last person left, and then I find out you don't speak English. It's not fair. It's not fair." Can only type it, and I hate fucking reading text messages. Something strange is happening here, where we haven't had a case of COVID. Let me just double check this on the website. We haven't had a case of COVID since the 17th of the 8th. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, okay. I don't know my months of the year. 8th of August, 17th. So that's 10 weeks ago. And yet, well, prior to these 10 weeks, we've got the option of when we go into certain places, we've got the option of using the app or writing on a chit of paper. Do you guys say chit in America? We do. Instead of slip of paper, we say chit of paper. Oh, north. And then you write your information on there. And some people don't want to use the app. Sometimes you have to use a Google version of the app. You just QR code it, and it brings up a form. And you've reached COVID-0 that we know of. If we didn't know, there would be an outbreak because other people wouldn't know. And so we've had no cases since August that we know of, but we've always had to use this app to get into nearly anywhere except private spaces like malls and restaurants. It's always been an option as well to use the chit of paper. I'm going to keep using the word chit, okay? Then you learn it. I know, Brian, but there is some hesitancy from Hong Kong people to use the app. But then I gave my information to Google. And oddly, when I do the form, Google doesn't know my information. I don't know why. Why do I have to keep telling it in my name, my phone number? Just, you should know. You're Google, but they don't know. No live overseas TV. No information. Sorry, I shouldn't say live overseas TV. I should say Anne, shouldn't I? Anne. But now they've said you have to use the app if you go exclusively use the app if you go into certain places, because they want some kind of harmonization with China so then we can travel to China. And it's like, oh, okay. But there are tons of old people here who have, the old touch type telephones, and they can't get into various places. And I went to my local recycling center, which has always had a 6-person limit. This means 6-person limit on going in. And yesterday I walked in and they said, you can't come in. You've got to use the app. It's like, what the fuck? I've got to use an app to spend 3 minutes just throwing my sorted, recycled product already. And they said, yeah, I'm in it for 3 minutes. 3 fucking minutes. I'm not going to breathe on anybody. And they said, okay, well, if you don't want the app, then you've got to use this letterbox. And everything that I pre-sorted now just gets thrown into one bin and they have to sort it. So they're making it easier for me, but it's harder for them. So I've got this bag of glass, metal, plastics. And before I would just go to the bins and put it in the glass, metal, plastics. Now they're saying just put it in the letterbox in this big bin. There's this catch-all. Okay, that's your problem. Brian Davis says in the US, COVID is political. Yeah, it's not here. Dave E says, what about the little old ladies with smartphones? What about the little old men? They basically can't. They can't go into certain places, and there's no accommodation for those aged people who aren't using touchscreens. My stepmom and my dad, my dad can't use a phone, and my stepmom barely knows how to use her phone. So they'd be screwed otherwise, because someone would have to teach them and then remind them how to scan a QR code. And a lot of us take it for granted. But when you see an old person, you know, what's my password? You've got to accommodate those folks. Got to be nice to them. You've got to give them a piece of paper to just get on. And I don't understand the expansionist attitude for rolling this app out across nearly everywhere now. If you go to a wet market, got to use the app. If you go to any government building, which is fine. You go into a government building, it makes sense. You've got to use the app. And you've got to achieve feature parity with mainland China. But then what's wrong with the paper solution? When I got this bad boy just last week, it was October last week, I could use paper, but then boom, 1st of November, you got to use the app. I don't understand it, and I guess Americans would shit their pants if they had to do that. My freedoms. Brian Davis says hard to get older people using tech. Yeah. In the Dave E says, when my mom was in hospital, they handed her a cell phone to communicate with my cousin, and he couldn't hear her because she kept holding it upside down. Brad Pitless, aka Tech, TEK, says, cause they're monitoring everyone via the app. Possibly. Dave says, as a privacy-minded American, I can tell you that would never fly here. People would flip. That would be interesting, though. And there's a certain level of hypocrisy. Here, the privacy aspect isn't political. And a lot of people realize that they have no privacy. They just understand it. Just like most Americans will say, news is subjective. Well, they don't believe it's subjective, and yet news is subjective. Everybody who does the news is going to be subjective in their take. The objectivity isn't really a thing. You've got to try really hard to be objective. So here, there's an acceptance of privacy, and you can be tracked through your cell phone, la-da-da-da-da. Whereas in America, people are like, you're going to put a microchip in me because you're going to, put sugar water in my arm just to give me the microchip. And yet I don't want to be tracked. And yet the phone will track you. Cameras will track you. Other people can spy on you. And then people just text message like the January the 6th, the insurrection day. People were talking on social media about it. And it's like, you fucking idiot. You're leaking the information yourself. The government isn't the problem. You are, through your ignorance of not understanding how much of a digital footprint you're actually leaving behind. So a lot of people need to be educated, but then logic doesn't work on a lot of people, or facts don't work on a lot of people. Oh well. So that's the situation over here. We've got to use this app now. But a lot of people don't want to use the app. And so maybe they just won't go to certain places anymore. They won't go to government buildings, although it doesn't make sense because you have to go to the government building and the government knows who you are. But restaurants now, wet markets, got to use the app. David Yee says, and I've got to say your name because the replay viewers won't know until the video is processed. And people post photos on social media of themselves committing crimes. Yeah. Because they've got a flex and they don't think it'll get tracked back to them. Use a VPN and a Tor router. I have I have a VPN. They're still legal here. I did read in the news about an American. Okay, we've got a connection problem here. YouTube is upset. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to connect you. Okay, it's here. There is a kernel. I was reading about it on some American military-focused website. Basically, this kernel wouldn't carry out a lawful order to vaccinate herself and the troops under her command, and now she's been discharged for refusing that order. And yet, she cites religious exemption. And then, as she was being cross-examined in some kind of military procedure, the person cross-examining her asked her, have you been vaccinated for measles? Have you had any of the vaccinations that are standard as military protocol? And it's like, yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And so what's the problem with this one? And so, bye-bye job, as r/bye-bye job would say. Dave, not Dave Yee, but Dave says there was some kind of COVID contact tracking thing built into Apple and Android, but it was turned off by default, so it never took off. Oh, okay. Brian Davis says, I heard about that. Good. So strange. And that's a kernel. Why would you give up your career? It seems that if I move the laptop, I have a connection problem. Okay. It's working now. Why would a kernel, they believe that strongly in the BS that they would give up their career? Now, it's an honorable discharge, so that person will still receive a military pension, but their career is gone. Don't understand it. Hi, Kevin. I don't know why people would put their job on the line and they believe so much about it. I've been reading about police officers supposedly won't get vaccinated, and the news would say thousands of officers will quit the force or be put on leave, and then you find out like 34, not thousands. Yeah, maybe the bamboo is messing with my signal. Who knows? Yeah. Hey, I've actually got nothing else to talk about with regard to Hong Kong, and it's bad timing on Kevin's part because Kevin loves talking about Hong Kong. It's his favorite thing. But since October, since September and August, the 8th month of the year, going on the Wars website, wars.vote4hk, there's been hundreds of cases, and yet they're all imported. So we're still getting cases every day, and yet they're all from other parts of the country. Let's have a look here. How many did we get yesterday? So on the 2nd, we had 5 cases on the 2nd, and then we had 4 cases on the 1st. So that's 9 cases this month, but all being confirmed as coming in. And it even says, the website will say Turkish Airlines, Emirates. That one hasn't been translated yet. Qatar Airways, Cebu Pacific. There's a Filipino person. Yes, it's all imported cases. So we're doing really well. And I have a Twitter person from Hong Kong who's just arrived back, and they were mentioning on their Twitter account that they're looking for a word, and I retweeted them, so you can check it out on Twitter at JonathanJK. But they were looking for a word for going to a country where the virus is everywhere and no one's wearing masks, coming to a country where there's no virus and everyone's wearing masks. What is that about? Yes, it is, Brian. It is good that Hong Kong is keeping it under control. I feel like that person from Star Wars when you have to translate R2-D2. R2-D2 says something, but you don't know what they're saying, and then I have to say it for you. They quarantine everybody who enters. So if you come into Hong Kong, you get stuffed into a hotel, because if you're rich, you've got to book it in advance, or you get sent to some kind of camp on Lantau Island, and that's it for 3 weeks. Now, I know somebody who's just left Hong Kong to go to the Philippines to meet a friend. Some of you know her as Nikki, and there's no quarantine procedure from Hong Kong to the Philippines. But that poor soul, when they come back, they've got to wait 3 weeks to get back in. So you've got to be a really good friend to want to do that. Hi, Paula. Fucking hell. Paula's here now. Brad Pitless, a.k.a. TEK. Cases going down here, but emergency rooms are being overwhelmed with other ailments. What kind of other ailments? And which part of the US are you from? I can't remember. Sorry. I do want to tell you something that might be of interest. It's just that I'm making it, but it's on a separate Patreon to my normal Patreon that's advertised here. But I do a Voyager, Star Trek Voyager podcast. And no, I'm not picking my bum. I'm just scratching my back, honest. And I'm building out an episode. I think I mentioned it last time, but I got the first stills that are sort of showing the build out of the USS Voyager. I guess only Kevin's interested in this, so I'll just speak to Kevin. The rest of you can spectate, because I've got the images here. But I'm not releasing it on the. Here we go. Oh, you fucker! You mean to tell me I can't? I have to go into my deleted folder. Okay, doesn't matter. There's something bullshitty about how the software works. Let's go to deleted. Here we go. I'm in PA. Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to see this really well, but let's try 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay. So this person is building. I'll try to get rid of via the magic of VFX. Is building out a replica of the Starship Voyager from the Star Trek TV series. So this is basically the bridge, just the basics, the floor and everything. And then that's the bridge view. And that's with the lighting as well. So he has to take care of that shit. And now he's put in the chairs. And already you can see various angles that are, well, televisual, shall we say. And then here is the last image he sent me, which you can see is a lot more completed. So if we go back 2 photos, here there's no roof and there's no chair. There's no roof and no chair. Chairs, sorry. Go back, and then you can see it. He's building it out. And it's very good, Kevin. I've paid him $272 or 200 British pounds to build this out. And what's going to happen is we're going to do a test video. And I've just got in contact with an artist in Singapore who's going to draw and illustrate the characters. So it's going to be a legitimate thing. My voice, my beautiful vocals, this Singaporean artist's effort, and then this guy in the UK. And I get to choose the angles. He doesn't get to choose. I'll have to storyboard it. And then he gets to zoom in and around, change the lighting to fit the mood. You can do all that once it's rendered out. And then I give that sort of screenshot that we're going to do as a test. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the pause. Do that as a test, send it to the Singaporean artist who now has the background visuals to then overlay the character with the correct proportions to make it very realistic. Of course, Kevin, of course. I'll make it fan fiction. I can't make any money from it because it's copyrighted content, but we're going to do the first scene as a test, see how long that takes, and then we're going to build out the full 90-minute episode that is the first episode of the season 8 that we're making. We might get this done, I don't know, late next year. I don't know the time frame. All depends on my storyboarding abilities, the VFX artist, and then whoever I can conscript to draw characters. And I'm thinking of having one artist per character just to simplify things, and then they can obviously get better and familiar with whoever they're drawing for. Okay, so that will come out on the YouTube channel. That's why it's relevant to you, I guess, because you'll see this video and you'll think, what's this Star Trek shit? And this is the video that hopefully will bring some attention back on the podcast. Does it come with coffee in the ready room? Kevin, if there's a scene actually in the episode, I can tell you haven't listened to the episode. There's no coffee. Janeway has no coffee. She's waiting for it by the end of the episode. You've shown yourself to not be invested in my production. You probably have actually, but you've forgot, but it's okay. Right, I don't think I have anything else to share with you. Just want to do a quick video. It's an animated video. Yes, Dave, it's an animated video, but I'm animating it. So the artist is going to create a pose, and maybe they'll do an alternate, say, of the hand. So I can animate that and put an overlay it over one over the other. But basically, they've got the pose. Maybe eyes will close, the mouth will do something. One frame, that's it. And then I will do the transitioning. So I still have to do the majority of the actual animation. They won't. They're just drawing it as though it's a piece of comic book art. And then I can vary the poses. Okay. Yeah. Could be awesome. Could be, but it's my vocals. I don't think I can get enough people in time. Or you see, if you bring more people into the project, it's going to take longer and longer because then you're chasing somebody to ask them, oh, have you done the vocals for that character? And they could say, no, not yet. And then when they do, they haven't read it properly because, in effect, I'm the director. So then it just adds because somebody can't read a dialogue properly. Or they haven't even watched Star Trek. Some people have offered to do the animation for me, but they know nothing about Star Trek. And it's like, okay, I get it, but thank you, but no thank you. Some people have contacted me and they've said, I don't want to do a Zoom call. I just want to chat with you via email. And it's like, no, you have to Zoom call me so we can talk about the nuance and have a bit more of a free flow of ideas. And there are people from America who have contacted me to say, oh, I can't do that. And I said, I understand mental health is important, but I'm not texting you because my mental health is important. I'm not staring at a screen just typing all day. So they don't want to do it. Or they don't respond. Can't do that. You have a radio podcast voice. Yeah, I've got the perfect face for radio. That's the saying, isn't it? Right? Right. Unless you have any questions, I'm going to wrap this live stream up. Or forever hold your peace. Bayshore, did you get the new laptop, by the way? Did you buy an Apple laptop? The new ones? I've seen them in the shops. They're really thick, but I would love to have one. Just for the sake of having one, of course. In America, we might call that a Mexican standoff. What is it called in we would say Mexican standoff as well. You just got the new MacBook Pro. What do you use it for, Dave? There's a lot of people online. And again, you have to be careful of the echo chamber that you're visiting. But there's a lot of people online who are upset at the pricing. And this laptop is an M1 MacBook, which is like around $1,000 US, which is more powerful than any other Mac, Intel Mac that Apple was selling. That's how powerful this was. And you had people getting rid of their 16-inch Intel Macs for this in the interim period until the new 16-inch came out. And so people are complaining about the prices and the upgrade scale to upgrade to like more terabytes or gigabytes, whatever, is unfair. And I'm actually disagreeing this time because the laptop can actually run rings around a Mac Pro. And so you've seen the size of the Mac Pro. It's like a small space heater or a big space heater. And it's probably 3 times as much in dollars. Like what, opening price is like $5,000 or $6,000. And then you've got to upgrade it. People are getting pissed that it's too expensive, but they want that power. And it's like, well, you've got a Mac Pro on your lap, effectively. So expect to pay top dollar. And if you don't want that, the MacBook Air exists. And that, in performance terms, was replacing the i9 that Apple was selling. So I don't understand people's bitchiness. But then you get into the idea that, these are just complainers because they want the best and they want to show that they've got the best. Whereas professionals who are making money, they could probably do one job and they've paid off their new laptop. They're not the ones complaining. They just want it and they'll just buy it. And they're not on Reddit complaining. They'll probably just say, I want it and type that. and you have to like be more discerning with the comments and well, I say you, but me realize, oh, these fuckers, they just want to pose and just tell everyone that they've got a laptop that's over $2,000, and yet they'll probably just do some typing, make a YouTube video, maybe, and you got people who are developing apps, probably shooting 8K for a movie studio, who need that portability and power. Anyway, should get the model of the Intrepid class. I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin. I wonder what it's called in Mexico. I do web development for work. I probably don't need the higher end model, but I wanted something future-proof. There is that. The fact that some laptops 10 years ago had USB 3, Apple laptops had USB 3, was a godsend for a lot of people because you future-proofed it until Thunderbolt 4 came out. Fish is expensive. I don't know what that means. I tried the MacBook Air. That seems like it would be fine for most uses. I edit 4K video on this laptop. No problems. It's connected to an SSD. You can't see it. There's an SSD here. It's right. Oh my God, it's right off camera. That's bullshit. It's right there. 2 terabyte SSD. And I've got two Thunderbolt ports, one connected to a hub. No, I can't fuck around with this. It might fall out. But there's a hub there that gives me three more Thunderbolt ports connected to what is this? Oh yeah, a backup SSD drive, then a 4 terabyte backup drive. So once the SSD is a Time Machine drive, then I've got a 4 terabyte monster underneath here. Over here, oh, there's no right way, is there? It's under the table. And yeah, then there's an extra USB port. I'm fine with that. Okay, from Eagle Moss, they make die-cast Star Trek ships. Oh, okay. I'm not buying any Star Trek stuff. Kevin, I gave I gave $272 to a guy in Britain, and I've got this, which will eventually be a giveaway. Okay, because I won't need it after a while. I've already got too much Star Trek stuff. Dave says that's the only downside is the current generation MacBook Air only has 2 ports. Honestly, this hub is fine. It's a Thunderbolt 4 hub. I get by with it. And the fact that I can just disconnect everything and just run away. Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse. I'm fine with 2 ports because I have the hub. But I can understand for some people. But then the MacBook Pros only have 3 ports. I'd rather the HDMI was a USB 3 or another Thunderbolt because enough people have got the HDMI adapter. Honestly, HDMI is a waste for me. Don't need it. That's the only downside. Okay, I read that comment, and Dave says, oh, nice. Now, he tapped that very quickly because I enabled or disabled the slow mode. Okay, I'm going to go now. That's it. But I wanted to talk tech. I love talking about tech. And I would love one of those new MacBooks, but not yet because I've just got this. And this is fine. And don't forget, Dave, there is a low power mode. Go into battery, go to settings, go into your battery, and there's an actual low power mode. You can check that, and your battery life. Someone was complaining on Reddit where they said they had the 14-inch and only got 5 hours out of it. So they were disappointed. They turned on low power mode, and now they get 12. I really only make 4K videos probably once every 2 weeks. I do not need the full power of even the M1. The rest of the time I'm typing or just surfing the web. And I check on low power mode starting yesterday. I'll see how it plays out, but I'm hoping for some battery gains because at the moment I only charge this laptop maybe once or twice a week. That's how good it is. Just the M1 MacBook Pro. Sorry, did I say M1 iMac? I didn't mean to. Okay, so settings, battery, low power mode. Click it. I wonder if I should just leave that on to make the battery last longer. Right, fewer charges means that it will live longer and then you don't have to replace it later, do you? Even though I tell you what, I've watched over 10 videos on YouTube about this MacBook that I'm not going to buy. I've listened to over 10 podcasts and I've read tons about it on Reddit. For a laptop, I will not buy. But the batteries are actually more easy to replace than they were in the 16-inch. There's no glue. It's just like sticky tape. You just pull them out and then you put the new one back in and it's done. Okay, it's 11:30. I want to finish this video, upload it, and then edit this one, timestamps, and then get ready for work. Okay. And if I've got time and these guys do their job, I'll do some live streams as well. So it's 40 minutes. That's enough for the replay viewers and yourself. Okay. Thanks for popping by. Oh, someone said in the comments that they want me to shoot 16:9. I do have to state that if I'm using this, and I can show you the difference now. If I'm using this with this attached, I'm going to attract a lot more attention. So if I'm outside shooting 6:9, that's why, because I'm outside and it's easier outside. You're not upsetting anybody. But if I'm inside a mall, security will be like, "What are you doing?" So I was going to chuck this then. If I'm shooting like this and I'm doing a live stream, it's because I want to be inconspicuous. And while the quality and the shakiness is going to suffer, it's going to cause the video to suffer in terms of quality, the accessibility goes up. So it's a trade-off that I'm calculating. So if I'm outside, gimbal. If I'm inside and I want to get around quickly, this. But I do hear that person's complaint because I would like to shoot like this with stabilization, but I can't. Okay, so I can't. No, it wasn't you. It was somebody else. It was somebody else chatting to me. It wasn't you, Brian. Right. Okay. Thanks for watching. Do I need to promote my social media? Check the links in the show description. That's what they're there for. It saves me time. Okay. And everybody take care, eh? Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.